Many facades are used in the Benz Museum to distribute the load of slab. The shape of the facade appears in a curved state, not a straight line. Each plate glass of different dimensions is partial at different slope. Therefore, we have to choose a cottonware method that is suited for angular or complex facade. It is a stick system. Pre-work was carried out to use the stick system of cottonware. First of all, build-up of the one-window facade along the edge of the collection spider. The frame and glass of the stick system are installed directly in the field. Therefore, the amount of members according to the location is calculated in advance. Layering of facade consists of angle columns, vertical mullions, trapezoidal glass elements. They merge in order to form a cottonware element. Install anchor. Vertical mullion and shear blocks, trapezoidal glass elements, and snap cap. In this process, we create a cottonware of the Benz Museum. Let's look at how panels are assembled at this junction. There are four main processes. First, panel support systems are welded to steel plates cast in the concrete. Second, outside insulation is installed between the panel support system. At this time, Benz Museum used an external insulation method, and it has the advantage of avoiding internal condensation without creating thermal breaches compared to built-in insulation. Third, an air barrier is installed over the insulation, taking care to create the continuous surface. Unconditioned air brings moisture and exterior heat or cold inside the space, which is not desirable as it impairs the energy efficiency of the building. Due to the air barrier's tightness, air movement from outside to inside can be prevented. Finally, the aluminum paneled rain screen is installed, attaching to the panel support system. Rain screen design is usually defined by separating cladding from structure walls to manage moisture and energy transfer through wall assemblies. This cavity promotes residual water drainage and airflow behind the wall panel. This helps dry out all passing water and ventilate the moist air that can enter the cavity. Through this process, this concrete building is covered with more than 400 panels. Former panels were the majority, with curved surfaces were used in some cases. The curved surfaces of different forms are mainly single-curved, and the double-curved panels were fabricated at works and held in shape in frame. It is possible to distinguish panels by numbering them according to their use, location, and shape. The majority of structural aluminum panels were pre-manufactured, transported, and installed on site. As only a part of the curved panel was used, the work of bending and using it directly in the field was carried out. The exhibition area of the Mercedes-Benz Museum consists of a central triangular atrium that rises through an open core of the building. However, since the maximum length of the atrium space is 28 meters, a load-bearing element was needed in the middle. So, at the top of the atrium has a bridge connecting 3 leaves of trefoil. This bridge avoids the core and implements the following forms. And the cloud of white fabric just below the bridge forms a visual barrier to the lower floor. At the top of the white fabric, there is a steel mesh ceiling under the atrium glass roof. In more detail, there are 2-layer steel mesh ceiling. The 2 layers rotated against each other, generating a moire effect, making it seem to appear and disappear. The museum has been landscaped according to the UN Studio Master Plan. Both the building and the landscape design respond to the rounded space of all systems like museum inside of a typical design. Large steps, sloped edges, and handrails form a museological landscape that welcomes museum visitors as a landmark of Stuttgart. To guarantee balanced progress and project feasibility, UN Studio maintains certain unwritten rules put in writing here for the first time. First, the places that are on full view at all times are not allowed to be extremely colorful. The main museum rooms are neutral, ensuring that the focus is on the exhibit object. Actually, in the Mercedes-Benz Museum, the presence of saturated colors has been limited to the elevator cores, the washrooms, and the exits. Second, the patterns are great, but we limit ourselves to touch. The patterned surfaces of the museum contribute to the coherence of the building. Third, these rooms can be designed for the frequent exchange of exhibits. Finally, high-quality materials were considered especially for floor renovation. Many round floors in the exhibition hall have been renewed to terrazzo floor, that ascend in large spaces and create large and small optical zones where exhibits appear on their own. Terrazzo flowers are extremely resistant to many visitors and heavy exhibits, while at the same time, they are aesthetic and easy to clean. Each legend room consists of 4 elements: illustrated history, the keyword, scene, and workbench. The illustrated history informs visitors about major events in contemporary and corporate history. The keyword at the foot of each ramp informs in more general terms about the exhibits in the room. In the center of each legend room, important vehicles and product innovations of Mercedes-Benz are displayed. The workbenches provide information about major engineering and design innovation. Today, we focused on Construction 10, Exterior and Interior. Next, we will prepare the final presentation. Today, our reference. Thank you for listening.